Hello, friends. Since the Cold War began, Europe's ability to build its own fighter jets has slowly declined, with only a few countries still producing advanced aircraft today. Big joint programs like the Eurofighter showed what Europe can do together, while France kept its independence strong with proven jets like the Mirage 2000 and the powerful, highly versatile Rafale. But one story stands out in a different way: Sweden. Back in 1937, Saab started as a small company, yet over time it grew into one of the most capable aircraft makers in Europe. Since the 1940s, Saab has built a series of military jets, each one better than the last. This journey led to some truly iconic fighters: the Mach 2 capable Draken in the 1950s, the advanced multirole Viggen in the 1960s, and today's JAS-39 Gripen, a fast, agile, and highly flexible fighter often compared to the F-16. What makes Saab special is not just the aircraft, but how a relatively small nation managed to compete with global giants, proving that smart design, innovation, and independence can still produce some of Europe's best homegrown fighter jets. Before we go deeper, take a second to like the video and subscribe our channel. Most people know Saab for its cars, but its real story actually begins in military engineering. Saab was created by the Swedish company Bofors, which took over an engine and locomotive manufacturer called NOAAB and turned its expertise toward aircraft production. Working closely with the Swedish Air Force, Saab entered aviation by joining forces with ASIA, an aircraft division already building planes in Linköping during the 1930s. This partnership became the backbone of Saab's future, allowing it to design and build its own aircraft. Early on, Saab produced several important planes under license, including the Saab 17 dive bomber in 1940, the Saab 18 fast bomber in 1944, and the unique twin-boom Saab 21 fighter in 1945. After World War II, Saab expanded into the car industry and launched its first automobile in 1949, which made the brand famous worldwide. But behind the scenes, Saab never lost its focus on military aviation, with Linköping remaining the heart of its aircraft development, quietly shaping one of Europe's most capable defense industries. As jet engines began to take over the skies, Saab knew it had to move fast, and this is where things really got interesting. In 1950, Saab introduced its first true jet fighter, the Saab 21R. But here's the twist: it wasn't built from scratch. Instead, engineers took the older propeller-driven Saab 21 and completely redesigned it into a jet-powered aircraft. The result was a single-engine fighter that could also perform ground attack missions. At first, more than 120 were planned, but only 64 were actually built. Powered by the British-built Goblin engine, the 21R was small but surprisingly capable for its time. It came in different versions, some focused on air combat, others designed to strike ground targets with bombs and rockets. With a top speed of around 800 kilometers per hour and a ceiling of 36,000 feet, it wasn't the most advanced jet in the world, but that wasn't the point. The 21R was Sweden's stepping stone into the jet age, similar in role to early jets like the Vampire or Jak-15. It gave the Swedish Air Force real jet experience, and that experience would shape everything Saab built next. By 1956, it was retired, but its impact was far bigger than its short service life. In 1951, Sweden took a major leap forward with its first purpose-built jet fighter, the Saab 29 Tunnan. Unlike the earlier 21R, this was a completely new design, built from the ground up for the jet age. Powered by the de Havilland Ghost engine, it featured swept wings, a more aerodynamic body, and much better performance overall. At first glance, its round shape earned it the nickname the Flying Barrel, but once it took to the skies, it shocked everyone. Test pilots found it faster and more capable than expected, even setting world speed records, reaching around 977 kilometers per hour in 1954. On paper, it could go over 1,060 kilometers per hour, fly up to 50,000 feet, and cover long distances, making it a serious fighter for its time. Over the years, it was upgraded to carry powerful weapons, including cannons, rockets, bombs, and even Sidewinder missiles. It also had a big advantage: it could operate from rough airstrips, perfect for Sweden's defense strategy.
The Tunnan became Sweden's most produced jet fighter ever, with over 660 aircraft built in multiple versions, from fighters to reconnaissance models. It even saw real combat during a UN mission in Congo in 1961, the first time a Swedish jet entered combat. By the time it retired in 1976, the Tunnan had not only proven itself, but also pushed Saab into a new level of advanced aircraft design, even though early challenges like high accident rates came with the learning curve of this new technology.
Then came a major breakthrough for Saab, the Saab 32 Lansen, their first truly modern jet fighter. This aircraft was a big step ahead of everything before it. It had a sleek, swept-wing design, could fly at transonic speeds, and looked much closer to the advanced British jets of that era. Powered by the powerful Rolls-Royce Avon engine, the Lansen was built for the harsh realities of the Cold War. Sweden needed an aircraft that could operate in any weather, day or night, and respond quickly across its long 2,000-kilometer coastline, and the Lansen was designed to do exactly that. Entering service in 1956, the attack version could carry a wide range of weapons, including cannons, rockets, bombs, and even anti-ship missiles, making it a serious threat in both sea and land operations. Later versions expanded its role even further. One became an all-weather fighter for night missions, another handled reconnaissance with advanced cameras and radar, and one was even designed for electronic warfare, capable of jamming enemy signals. With speeds over 1,100 kilometers per hour, a range of about 2,000 kilometers, and strong versatility, the Lansen showed just how far Saab had come. Yes, it faced challenges, including a high accident rate early on, but it stayed in service for over 40 years, finally retiring in 1997, proving it was not just advanced for its time, but built to last. Before Saab built its next major fighter, it took a smart and careful step forward. In 1952, the company started testing a small experimental jet called the Saab 210, also known as the Lille Draken or Little Dragon. This wasn't meant to be a frontline fighter. It was a test aircraft, built to explore a new and bold design, the double delta wing. Saab engineers wanted to understand how this shape would perform, especially at lower speeds, where many high-speed jets struggle. The aircraft was built at about 70% of the intended size and came in two versions. The first had larger wing roots that extended over the cockpit, while the second version adjusted the design to give the pilot much better visibility. Every flight of the Lille Draken gave Saab valuable data, helping them solve real-world problems before committing to a full-scale fighter. In simple terms, this small experimental jet was the foundation, the learning step that would soon lead to one of Saab's most advanced and iconic aircraft designs. This is the moment Saab truly stepped into the global spotlight. In the mid-1950s, building on the lessons from the small experimental Little Dragon, Saab introduced the Saab 35 Draken, a fighter that completely changed Sweden's position in advanced aviation. First flying in 1955, the Draken used a bold and unique double delta wing design, allowing it to reach speeds over Mach 2. That made it one of the fastest fighters in Europe at the time, entering service even before rivals like the Mirage 3. But this aircraft wasn't just about speed. It was built during the Cold War, when Sweden faced real pressure from nearby superpowers. The mission was clear: create a fighter that could launch quickly, intercept high-speed enemy bombers, and defend the country in any condition, day or night, in any weather, even from rough roads or highways instead of traditional runways. The Draken was designed exactly for that kind of flexible, survival-focused warfare. What made the Draken truly special was its performance in the air. Thanks to its unusual wing design, it was incredibly agile, capable of sharp turns and extreme maneuvers. In fact, it was one of the first aircraft to demonstrate what later became known as the Cobra maneuver. But that agility came with a challenge. It wasn't easy to fly. Pilots had to carefully manage speed, angles, and control inputs because the aircraft could become unstable if pushed too far. Skilled pilots, however, could turn that instability into a real combat advantage. Over time, Saab kept improving the Draken with better radar systems, stronger engines, and more advanced weapons.
It could carry powerful 30mm cannons, rockets, bombs, and guided missiles, giving it real combat flexibility. More than 650 aircraft were built, and it wasn't just Sweden that believed in it. Countries like Denmark, Austria, and Finland also added the Draken to their air forces. In the end, the Draken wasn't just another fighter. It was Saab's first truly cutting-edge design, proving that a relatively small nation could compete with the world's biggest aerospace powers. It stayed in service for decades, finally retiring in 1999, but its legacy lived on, shaping the future designs that would eventually lead to aircraft like the Gripen.
Then, in 1967, Saab introduced something truly ahead of its time, the Saab 37 Viggen. This wasn't just another fighter. It was one of the world's first real multi-role combat aircraft, designed to do everything from attack missions to interception. What made the Viggen stand out immediately was its unique design, especially the small forward wings called canards, making it the first mass-produced combat jet to use this feature. It gave the aircraft better control, especially at low speeds and during short takeoffs and landings. And that was key, because Sweden needed a jet that could operate from highways or short, rough runways, and the Viggen could take off in just 500 meters and even use reverse thrust to land quickly. Inside, the Viggen was just as revolutionary. It featured one of the first digital flight computers in a Western European aircraft, the CK-37, which could help the pilot with navigation, targeting, and flight control. At a time when most jets still relied on analog systems, this was a huge leap forward. It also had advanced radar systems, allowing it to track targets and fight in all weather, day or night. Powered by the Volvo RM8 engine, it had strong range and speed, even pushing past Mach 2 in later interceptor versions. The Viggen came in different versions, but two stood out the most. The AJ-37 focused on ground attack, but could still fight in the air, while the JA-37 became a powerful all-weather interceptor with advanced missiles and radar. Together with the earlier Draken, the Viggen gave Sweden a complete air defense system, flexible, fast, and highly capable. It carried heavy weapons too, including a 30mm cannon, Sidewinder missiles, and radar-guided Skyflash missiles. Even countries like Australia and India showed interest, but in the end it remained mostly a Swedish aircraft. By the 1990s, upgraded versions called the AJS-37 kept it relevant, proving just how advanced the original design was. The Viggen wasn't just a fighter, it was a bold step into the future, showing how Saab combined smart engineering with real battlefield needs to create something truly unique.
Then came Saab's most modern and ambitious fighter, the JAS-39 Gripen. First flying in 1988, this aircraft was designed to replace both the Draken and the Viggen with one smart, flexible platform for the future. The name JAS itself tells the story. It stands for Fighter, Attack, and Reconnaissance, meaning one aircraft could do it all. Inspired by jets like the F-16 and Mirage 2000, the Gripen was built to be small, fast, and highly agile. But here's the key: it was intentionally unstable, just like the F-16, which makes it more maneuverable. To control that instability, Saab had to develop an advanced computer system that keeps the aircraft stable in real time. It wasn't easy. Early prototypes even crashed, but Saab solved it, and that became one of Gripen's biggest strengths. By the mid-1990s, the Gripen entered service with single-seat and twin-seat versions, and later upgraded NATO-compatible variants. Over time, it evolved into something even more powerful. Newer versions like the Gripen E and F brought major upgrades: stronger engines, more fuel, better radar, and advanced electronic warfare systems. Today, the Gripen can fly at speeds up to Mach 2, perform extreme 9G maneuvers, and carry a wide range of weapons, from air-to-air missiles like AMRAAM and Meteor to strike weapons like cruise missiles and anti-ship systems. It can also share data with other aircraft, jam enemy systems, and operate from short or damaged runways, just like Sweden always wanted. Even after nearly 30 years in service, the Gripen continues to evolve, proving how smart design can stay relevant for decades. Today, it stands alongside top European fighters like the Eurofighter Typhoon and Rafale, showing once again how Saab, a company from a relatively small country, managed to compete with the world's biggest aerospace giants, by focusing on flexibility, efficiency, and real combat needs.
When you look back at Saab's journey, it's honestly impressive. Starting from very limited resources after World War II, this small Swedish company managed to build one advanced fighter after another, competing with global giants on a much smaller budget. In just a few years, Saab went from early jets to the Draken, a Mach 2 interceptor that briefly put Sweden at the front of European aviation. Then came the Viggen, a powerful multirole aircraft that introduced digital systems and the ability to operate from short, rough runways, something very few countries could match at the time. And today, the Gripen has evolved into one of the most flexible and capable fighters in the modern world, designed not just for performance, but for real-world efficiency and adaptability. What Saab proves again and again is simple. Innovation matters more than size. Even a smaller nation with the right focus and smart engineering can build aircraft that stand shoulder to shoulder with the best in the world. If you found this deep dive valuable, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories on modern air power. The next few years are going to be critical, and we'll be here to break it all down. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.